My mom and I were incredibly close, but she did have a drug addiction, and she had that addiction for my entire life. And so no matter how close we were, and we were very close, and I think anyone who has someone who has an addiction in their lives, they can relate to this. It's no matter how close you feel to someone, when they're strung out and you're there with them, you feel so alone. And I remember being with my mom, very young, and feeling alone and not knowing why. In particular, and this is the moment that inspired the song Take Good Care of Me, I was 6 years old at my mom's house, just me and her. And out of nowhere, she's in the kitchen and she just falls to the floor. And I remember, being young and seeing pill bottles around the house. And even though I really didn't realize what they meant, I was able to piece together that they were the root of the problem. Lying there on the kitchen floor, holding my mom and with tears in my eyes and just begging her to get up, it was me going back to that moment. And that's where I was able to start writing the song. So I was 19 years old when I wrote Take Good Care of Me. And I was able to write it just thinking back on that moment when I was 6 years old, holding her in my arms, begging her to get up. It was always that feeling of, why do I feel so alone when she's right here? As I got older, I learned more and I realized what was happening. And obviously it made it easier, but at the same time it made it that much harder. Nothing hit me as hard as when I was 16 years old and I get a phone call on a Sunday morning in May saying, your mom has passed away. That was incredibly difficult. When I think of her and the life she had and the moments we shared together, my mind doesn't rush to the rough times or the dark times. They rush right to the times where we would laugh hysterically at our little inside jokes, where we'd be sitting there watching a movie together, or we'd be cooking dinner together, or, there were so many awesome memories that just kind of make it all worth it. And those 16 years that I spent with my mom were just filled with so many more joyful moments than non-joyful moments. And so I don't always go back to those times, but Take Good Care of Me is an example of me venturing back to darker times to discover something profound. And Take Good Care of Me, the lyrics in the song are the words that, had I known how to put them together when I was 6 years old, are the words that I would have confessed to my mom when she woke up. I would have just shook her and said, Mom, love and life are like war and peace, and sometimes a struggle is as good as it gets, but I need you, and I need you to be here in the moment with me and not dependent on these pills. Depend on me to get you through the day and get you through whatever demons you're facing, and not these pills. That's what I'm saying in Take Good Care of Me. And had I, had the wisdom to say that at 6 years old, obviously I would have, but you just don't have that intelligence at a young age. And so me writing Take Good Care of Me is kind of the person I am now, informing the person I was as a child. It's a very angry song. I didn't like feeling alone when my mom was right there with me. And I don't think anyone who has someone who's addicted to drugs likes that feeling of being so alone, yet knowing their loved one is right there with them. So it's a very personal song. It captures the desperation that I felt at 6 years old. When my mom was sprawled out on that kitchen floor and I didn't know if she was going to wake up, and I was really scared. I don't always dwell on the negative facets of my life. As a matter of fact, I try not to. But sometimes I think it's healthy to go and look back at the hard times, because they make you the person you are today. And it's very important to kind of go back and retrace your steps a little bit through all the different times in your life and try to make sense of it all. And that's what Take Good Care of Me does. It tries to make sense of times of desperation and fear. It was a hard song to get through, but we got through it. And I think that only represented the hard times in life. and getting through them. It's a song of perseverance.
Sometimes the struggle is as good as it gets. You take what's given nonetheless.